And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly fantastic day today on this Sunday.
LeBron, you guys closed the third on a 17-6 run and then carried that over into the first few minutes of the fourth. What did you see during that stretch of like 6-7 minutes that you feel like you could take in a game?
We met the intensity, what they were bringing to the table. We met the physicality with physicality and started to get up into them. Allowed us to get some turnovers, allowed us to get some extra possessions, and it allowed us to get back into the game. So, like I said, sometimes it takes a quarter, 2 quarters, a full game to get used to playoff basketball once again. So it shouldn't be no surprise on Tuesday.
All right, my people, that was LeBron James saying, hey, sometimes it takes a quarter or 2 to get back used to playoff basketball. Sometimes it takes a quarter or 2. Sometimes you just you don't come right into the game understanding that you're in the playoffs. Sometimes it takes you a few quarters to adjust. Despite the fact that LeBron James has been in the league for 22 years, despite the fact that he's been to so many finals and so many playoffs that LeBron James fanboys and cappers for LeBron James love to bring up all of the time, LeBron James at age 40, sometimes it takes you a quarter or 2 to realize that it's playoff basketball. We're going to keep this video short, people. So, LeBron James fanboys, your king did not show up. He did not show up for the game. 19 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. And, it's very interesting to me. To me, it's like you can always just look at the body language of teams and tell not only who has the momentum, but who really wants the game. The Lakers look lethargic, playing some good old traffic cone defense. And, they just didn't respond to the energy that the T-Wolves were bringing. They didn't respond to the energy that Anthony Edwards and Nas Reeves and was DiVincenzo, and they just did not respond to the energy that these guys were bringing offensively and defensively. And it made me start thinking about the whole defense wins championships thing. I was watching a video from Johnny Arnett, and he was talking about this. And he actually went back and, looked at the stats of defensive-minded teams, where they were ranked on defense versus teams where they were ranked on offense, and actually came to the conclusion that teams that are better on defense has the edge over teams that are better on offense as far as winning championships. Now, he took a very literal approach to that topic of defense wins championships. But when I think of defense wins championships, I don't necessarily think about that you have to have the number 1 rated defense to win championships. When I think of defense wins championships, I think of the fact that defense is what requires the most effort. Defense is what requires the most effort. It's the job that doesn't get as much glory, like I said, but to me, based on the effort that you're willing to put in on defense, kind of is a reflection of the effort you're willing to put in. Well, it's not kind of. It's an effort that you're willing to put in to the whole game, because basketball is not just offense. And, so many people been capping for the Lakers lately that, and honestly, what I think it is everybody is into this shortcut mentality And I really believe that a lot of people, since the Lakers got Luka, was thinking of Luka as this magic piece. You know, Luka's a great player in his own right, but he does not play defense. This is what everyone was saying when he first joined the Lakers. And then, of course, the Lakers went on a little run, and then now everybody's talking about Lakers in 5 and all this stuff. But when you get to the playoffs, and teams are allowed to play a little more physical, it really is about that extra effort. It really is about putting in the effort on defense. Like I said, to me, it's not necessarily about whether your team is ranked the number 1 defense or the number 3 or number 5 defense. It's about when the playoffs start, are you willing to do the things that are not glorious? Are you willing to dive for loose balls? Are you willing to run back on every play? You know, are you willing to attempt to block shots that may seem like you have no chance, but you just put in the effort just in case you may be able to tip the ball? It's really about doing those effort type jobs. That's just strictly about the effort. And this is what, to me, defense wins championships means. It means that the team that's willing to put in the effort, doing the jobs that are less glorious, you know, doing the jobs that's not going to show up on the stat sheet. And that's what it means to me. But anyway, LeBron James fanboys, yeah, that is I want to say it's a disappointment statement by your king, but it's not a surprising statement by your king. The guy who has spent his whole life taking shortcuts. Like I said, I believe people thought that Luka was the shortcut now. I believe LeBron James thought having Luka is the shortcut, but Luka better be careful because he can easily become the scapegoat. You know, the same way Austin Reeves or any guy that's not LeBron James can easily become the scapegoat. To me, this really highlights when people say that Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant practice as if it was the finals. This is what this really highlights to me. You know, and I'm bringing up those two because, again, LeBron James is falsely in the GOAT debate, and they want to keep making these comparisons. But it's things like this. It's when LeBron James says things like, oh, well, you know, sometimes it takes a quarter or 2 or 3 to get to remember that this is playoff basketball or to get used to playoff basketball. You know, when he says stuff like that, it really, you know, keys you into the mindset because, you know, like the saying goes, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. If you practice like it is playoff basketball, like it is finals basketball, then you don't have to make those adjustments because you're playing like that all the time. You're always ready. You know, if you have a dominating kind of mindset, you don't have to try to get yourself into that mindset because you're there all the time. But anyway, this is a short video. LeBron James fanboys, I just thought I'd take the time to, you know, let you know that your king didn't show up for the game. And this is par for the course. This is why I call LeBron James the most inconsistent superstar we have ever seen. But I guess we will see what happens. LeBron James fanboys, you still think Lakers in 5? But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. You all have a truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.